Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Tickers. We usually dive deep into the world of earnings calls, but today we're switching gears a bit. We're tackling a breaking news story that's got everybody talking. Dana White, president of the UFC, is joining Meta's board.
Wow!
Yeah, and the timing is, let's just say it's interesting. This news drops just weeks before you know who takes back the White House. So
Yeah.
what does this all mean? What does this unexpected pairing mean for both companies? What's Meta getting out of this? What does Dana White bring to the table?
Yeah, what does he bring?
And the big question, how does this impact you? You as an investor.
Yeah.
You as someone who's following these companies. Let's jump right in.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so first things first, gotta admit, this news kind of threw us for a loop. Dana White, the king of the octagon, known for his, bold personality, and a sport that's, well, let's just say intense, is now going to be helping steer a tech giant.
A tech giant focused on virtual reality.
Exactly. Virtual reality and the metaverse.
Okay.
On the surface, it's not the most obvious match.
Yeah. Not really. But you have to remember, Meta has been having some issues.
They have.
The metaverse adoption. It's been slower than they expected.
Yeah, it hasn't really taken off the way they thought it would.
Right. And the competition out there is fierce.
So they need something. They need a shakeup.
Yeah.
Something to get people excited.
Exactly.
So maybe this odd couple, maybe it's not so odd after all.
Maybe.
I mean, think about it. Dana White, he's a master when it comes to promotion. He built the UFC from basically nothing, from a niche sport to a global phenomenon.
Oh, yeah. He knows how to get people's attention.
Exactly. He knows how to engage an audience. He knows how to build hype.
And create a spectacle?
Yeah. And that's something Meta could really use right now.
That's the question, isn't it?
Right. Can those skills translate to the metaverse? Can he bring that same energy to Meta's virtual world?
And get people excited about it again.
Yeah. Because right now, Meta needs to attract new users, and they need to generate excitement around this metaverse platform.
And White's track record, it speaks for itself.
It does. He's built these incredibly passionate fan communities. He's created events that people just have to see.
So he could be the key.
The key to turning things around for Meta.
Potentially.
Okay,
Right.
But let's address the elephant in the room, the timing. This all happens just a few weeks before. Trump returns to the White House. So is this a calculated move by Meta?
Are they trying to include to a new demographic?
Exactly. Could this be their way of reaching out to a whole new audience?
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think about Trump's list of endorsements for this election. It's a wild mix. You've got business giants like Steve Forbes. You've got Elon Musk. You've even got Roseanne Barr and The Undertaker.
What a lineup.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it really highlights something. It highlights the potential reach of this move, but also the risks.
Yeah, they could alienate their existing user base
Exactly.
by trying to appeal to such a broad and diverse group.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
It all comes down to Dana White's relationship with Trump. We all know they're friends. And White even spoke at the Republican National Convention last year. But here's where things get really interesting. There's no confirmation that White actually endorsed Trump for this election.
So we don't know for sure where he stands.
Exactly.
Okay.
So is this a personal favor? Is this a smart business move by Meta? Or is it a combination of both?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right. We're left with more questions than answers.
We are.
And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. We're trying to figure out the motivation. Is this about using White's skills to boost the metaverse? Or is there a deeper political game at play here?
It's hard to say for sure.
It is. And it raises another big question. How do you interpret this news? Does this change how you see Meta? Is this a risky gamble? A brilliant move?
Or something in between.
Right. So we've laid out the facts, we've explored some possible interpretations, and now it's time for a little fun. Let's put on our speculation hats and dive into a segment we call This Is Not Financial Advice, But. All right, so this is where we let our imaginations run wild a little. This is where we explore some scenarios that are, outrageous, but maybe plausible. And remember, this is all hypothetical. This is not financial advice.
Right, just for fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's say, just for fun, that Meta really leans into this whole Dana White thing. They decide to go all in. They use his expertise to tap into this, this new market, this market that aligns with Trump's base.
Okay, I'm listening.
So what if we start seeing these metaverse experiences that are specifically designed for this demographic?
Like what kind of experiences?
I'll think about it. What if White's his whole promotional genius? What if that translates to the virtual world?
Interesting.
Right? Could we see a surge in Meta stock? Could they create these unique experiences that would bring in this whole new wave of users?
I mean, it's possible.
Okay, so just picture this. Virtual rallies
Yeah.
with avatars wearing digital-made GIs.
Oh, wow.
Or how about this? Virtual cage fighting arenas where users can, settle their political differences.
Okay, and if that's a little out there,
I know.
I know.
But you get the idea. The possibilities are pretty wild.
They are.
But we got to remember, this is all speculation. There's no guarantee that Meta will actually do any of this or that it would even be successful.
Right. It's a big if.
But it does make you think. It does make you wonder about the potential impact. This isn't just about getting new users. It's about changing the whole perception of the metaverse.
Yeah, they can tap into this market and create experiences that people actually enjoy.
Exactly. It could be huge. It could give their metaverse ambitions a major boost.
And that could have ripple effects throughout the whole tech industry.
It could change the game. And you know what? This whole thing, this whole Dana White and Meta thing,
Yeah.
it could be a sign of things to come.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. We've already seen brands becoming more and more vocal
Mm-hmm.
about their values, about social issues.
Right. They're taking sides.
Exactly. So could this be the next step?
Companies courting specific political groups.
Yeah, in these really unexpected ways.
Wow, that's an interesting thought.
I know, right? I mean, imagine fast food chains aligning themselves with political candidates.
Okay. That's a bit much.
Or airlines offering like special red-eye flights to rallies.
All right, now you're just being silly.
Okay. Maybe I got carried away.
Yeah.
But my point is, this whole situation, it raises some really interesting questions about the intersection of business and technology and politics.
It does.
And these questions are only going to become more relevant as these worlds continue to collide.
No doubt.
So let's take a step back for a second. And I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on all of this? Do you think this is a good move for Meta? Could it actually work?
Yeah. Let us know.
We want to hear your perspective. Because this deep dive, it's all about exploring these complex issues together. And now, let's get back to our "this is not financial advice, but" segment. We were having too much fun with those hypotheticals. All right, so remember that virtual casino idea we were tossing around?
Yeah.
Let's take that a step further. What if? What if Meta, with Dana White running the show, they create a virtual Trump Tower casino in the metaverse?
Whoa. You're really going all in on this, huh?
Just hear me out. Imagine this. This massive, opulent virtual casino. And you can gamble on political events.
Gamble on political events.
Yeah. Bet on election outcomes, Supreme Court appointments. You could even bet on whether Trump will send out a controversial tweet before the end of the day.
That's definitely a concept.
Right. It would generate a ton of buzz and potentially a lot of revenue for Meta.
Yeah, I mean, it would get people talking, that's for sure.
And who better to promote this virtual gambling paradise than Dana White?
Yeah, he'd be perfect for that.
He could make it the hottest spot in the metaverse. Attract a whole new crowd.
It's a wild idea.
It is.
But I gotta admit, it's not totally impossible.
Right. This is not financial advice territory after all.
True.
We're just exploring the possibilities.
The what is.
Exactly. But it does bring up some interesting questions. Would this kind of thing attract Trump supporters?
Or would it push away Meta's current users?
Yeah. Could it actually make money?
And what would it mean for the metaverse?
I mean, if it became this hub for political gambling.
It would definitely change things.
Big time.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those are questions for another deep dive.
Another day.
Yeah. Now, let's step back from the hypotheticals and come back to reality for a minute. This whole Dana White and Meta situation, it really shows how the lines are blurring between business and technology and politics.
They're all tangled up.
Yeah. And that has big implications for investors, for consumers, for everybody.
No doubt about it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a few things to think about. What do you think the long-term impact of this partnership will be?
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Will it actually breathe new life into Meta's metaverse plans? Maybe the most important question. What does this tell us about the future of tech?
And how it interacts with politics.
These are tough questions, no easy answers. But we hope this deep dive gave you some insights, a new way of looking at things.
A fresh perspective.
Exactly. Remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. Keep exploring these issues. Stay informed. And form your own opinions.
Yeah, don't just take our word for it.
And as always, if you stumble across any interesting news or developments, anything you think we should cover in a future deep dive, send it our way.
We're always looking for new stuff to explore.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And until next time, Keep those brains buzzing. And remember,
This is not financial advice.